Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be continuing to part 3 of What If Videl Became a Half Saiyan. If you haven't seen part 2, there's a title card where you can check it out and see what happened in the last part. But today we'll be going into the continuation of Super. What will Gohan's and Videl's reaction to seeing an evil version of Gohan? Will they be able to stop him? Can they be able to save Future Trunks' timeline from being erased completely? All that will be answered in this part of What If Videl Became a Half Saiyan. Also, if y'all are interested, I own a Discord server for anyone who wants to join and talk more about Dragon Ball with me and other viewers. Maybe give us some of your own ideas of what ifs, and maybe in the future I could do them. Check the link in the description down below. For today's question of the video comes from C410 Gamer. Which movie character you think would make a difference if they were canon? Now honestly, if we kept the movies that aren't canon the same, I think the character that would make the most difference if they were canon would actually be Cooler, being the brother of Frieza. And maybe him showing up with Mecha Frieza and King Cold after Frieza was quote unquote almost killed by Goku. And having him there, that would be a whole different issue for the Z Fighters. Even if Goku was by himself, I don't even know how he would handle all that. Maybe Trunks could have handled all three of them, I'm still not sure. I mean, he handled Mecha Frieza and King Cold pretty easily, but I'm pretty sure Cooler was much stronger than Frieza in his movies. Thank you so much for your question. If you want your comment to be featured in the next video, just comment down a question you would like for me to answer, whether it's about Dragon Ball, another anime, or personal, and maybe you'll get lucky enough for your question to be featured in the next video. Without further ado, let's dive into part 3 of What If Videl Became a Half Saiyan. In the last part, Gohan revealed this new form he had acquired through his training, beating Hit and winning the tournament between Universe 6 and Universe 7. Since then, Videl has been training a lot more as she too wanted to try to obtain that very same form of power. They continued to train on Earth, with Goten and Trunks while Piccolo and Goku were away on Beerus' planet. Goten and Trunks saw immense gain with all this training that they were doing. They mastered Super Saiyan 2 and were getting stronger separately so that their fusion would be even more powerful. A few months would pass since the tournament, and that is when future Trunks would arrive back in the present timeline at Capsule Corp. Bulma wouldn't call Goku and Piccolo since she doesn't really have the same friendly bond she had with Whis in this What If, but she would actually contact Gohan and Videl, as she knows that they are the strongest ones on the planet. Hearing the news of future Trunks returning, Gohan would head to Capsule Corp quickly, with the other three following behind him. Once arriving at Capsule Corp, Gohan would go check up on future Trunks, and when he would wake up seeing Gohan, he would try to attack him, thinking he was Gohan Black, soon realizing that he was back in the past. Our timeline Trunks is a bit weirded out, seeing a future version of himself, while Goten thinks it's pretty cool, not knowing that he doesn't exist in the future. Future Trunks would tell everyone what he has been up to in the future, with how he defeated Majin Buu to the revival of Gohan Black. Hearing that an evil version of himself is destroying the future shocked him, and even went to blaming himself, as he instantly wanted to help future Trunks stop this threat. Future Trunks would ask about Vegeta, thinking about hopping into the time chamber with him to grow stronger. But that is when Bulma would tell him the news of what happened to Vegeta during the Buu saga. Future Trunks remained speechless, hearing what his father did and how he is gone forever. He is pretty sad over it, as now he doesn't really have a father figure anymore, and wished he had spent more time with him. Before he could process the new information, that is when a portal would open up as Gohan Black would show up to this timeline, and spotting him, Gohan quickly jumps into action, getting into a fight with Gohan Black. This fight would be on par to when Goku fought Goku Black for the first time, just on a bigger scale, with the fact that this Gohan is far stronger than that canon Goku, meaning that this Gohan Black is stronger than Goku Black at this point in the story, even though Zamasu doesn't have full access to Gohan's power. Also, Gohan wouldn't be fighting Gohan Black to see how strong he is, like how Goku did. Gohan would actively try to end Gohan Black, but what gets him is his curiosity on how Gohan Black came to be. Without revealing who he is, he would tell Gohan how he swapped bodies with Gohan after seeing his strength in the recent tournament. And once he did have his body, he described how he killed Videl, Goten, Trunks, and Pan. Everyone was too stunned to speak, especially Gohan and Videl. They were frozen as they had to experience the fact that they had failed their newborn daughter in another timeline, and the fact that it was Gohan's own body that did so. Gohan Black took this time to his advantage to retreat back to the future to recuperate while they were all processing this new information. Goten would try to walk up to Videl while future Trunks went to check on Gohan, but what they both saw scared them, as both Gohan and Videl had furious eyes filled with rage and a tint of redness to them. They both wanted to go to the future right away to deal with this threat, and future Trunks didn't dare to say no, but he did ask if it was wise if Gohan's wife went with them. Here is when future Trunks learns about how Videl accidentally became a hybrid Saiyan like them, with the wish of the Dragon Balls. So with that explanation out of the way, and with future Trunks almost being a bit scared of being in the time machine with both of them, as he could feel the rage emitting from the two of them. Arriving to the future timeline, they grew more rageful, seeing all the destruction caused by Gohan Black. Gohan was so angry that he was barely able to contain it anymore, and soon would see Gohan Black in a smoke cloud as he would rush in, transforming into his beast form. But to his surprise, Gohan Black caught the attack, as when the smoke cloud disappears, that is when we see that he too achieved the beast form. After the near-death experience he got in the past timeline, the Saiyan DNA in his body kicked in and he got a massive Zenkai boost. And with Gohan's potential, he grew quite strong, even getting a new form. Gohan was in utter disbelief as he could tell that Gohan Black grew much more powerful than the last time they fought. Videl tried to jump in to help her husband, but then she would be struck by Zamasu. The two fights began as Future Trunks would try to help out as much as he can, jumping between the two fights. But seeing how outclassed he is against Goku Black, he would end up aiding Videl in her fight with Zamasu. I don't think it would take long for them to realize that Zamasu is immortal, as all of the attacks they throw at him doesn't seem to leave a mark, and how he isn't slowing down or showing any sign of getting tired. The fight between Gohan and Gohan Black shook the earth, as having two hybrid Saiyans with the beast form would create massive pressure waves each blow they connected. It got to the point where even the other three were struggling to fight against the force emanating from the two. Gohan wanted to end Gohan Black after learning what he has done to his family. He would have the edge of the fight, as still Gohan Black is getting used to Gohan's body, so he doesn't have full access to his power just yet. Gohan Black and Zamasu were getting upset that they were on the losing side, so they would end up resorting to using the Potara earrings to fuse, which shocks Gohan and Videl, as in this timeline this is the first time they see or even hear about the Potara earrings since they stopped Buu before Vegeta was even made. With Fuse Zamasu, they are able to overpower Gohan, beginning to beat on him easily. Future Trunks and Videl tries to help out Gohan, but they would be pushed back with little effort, not being able to do anything to help out Gohan. She would witness her husband getting very injured and would grow enraged. The new Saiyan blood that is a part of her DNA begins to boil. She never felt this angry before in her life. Hearing what someone did to her and her family, and now witnessing her husband get beaten badly, she isn't happy. All the training she has been doing since she became a half Saiyan, and seeing how much she grew, seeing this transformation that Gohan obtained made her train even harder. But there was something missing, and that was the rage. She yells out as a huge burst of aura emerges and a light blinding everyone as she tapped into her beast form. She rushes into battle fighting Fuse Zamasu, as Gohan followed her, as together they would fight off Fuse Zamasu. Now even though Videl isn't as strong as Gohan, the fact with two hybrid Saiyans with the beast form would make it much harder for Fuse Zamasu to fight back, as he would have to focus on two fighters now, which gives Gohan the advantage to do some serious damage to Fuse Zamasu. However, Fuse Zamasu was still able to regenerate from any injuries. Away we see Future Trunks, as all he could do was stand by and watch as people from another time are fighting for his future, because he was too weak to protect it himself. The rage and blame began to fill his mind. He didn't even have his father either, since he is dead in the past timeline as well. All the extreme emotions running through his mind allows him to break through his limits, going into his Super Saiyan Rage transformation, and helping out Gohan and Videl in taking down Fuse Zamasu. With the combined force of the three hybrid Saiyans were strong enough to push back Fuse Zamasu, as Gohan and Videl were distracting Fuse Zamasu while Trunks would charge up his Sword of Hope attack. Future Trunks would rush at Fuse Zamasu, attacking him with his sword, cutting him in half, as Fuse Zamasu would explode. They all powered down as they were pretty exhausted and thought they finally ended Fuse Zamasu. However, just like in the anime, Zamasu would return and completely cover the planet in his smoky face. The three hybrid Saiyans would all be pretty panicked, not too sure what to do now. With all three of them being exhausted and all their options being used, they would actually retreat back to the other timeline to rethink their plan. Once arriving, that is when they are met with Piccolo, Beerus, Goku, and Whis, as they are visiting Earth, as they would eventually hear about the situation about the future timeline. Which Gohan quickly explained what happened, and now they don't know what to do to stop Zamasu. Beerus and Whis learning that a Kai from another universe did this, they would go visit Universe 10 and spy on this timeline's Zamasu while leaving Goku and Piccolo to deal with the situation. With having an opponent they cannot physically beat, they are sitting there thinking, and that is when Goku would pull out his Zeno button, as he is still friendly with Zeno like he was in the normal timeline. Going back to the future timeline with Trunks, he would press the button to summon the Zeno of this timeline and tell him about Zamasu, ultimately with Zeno erasing the future timeline like what happened in the canon timeline, and now having two Zenos in the present timeline, like they have in the canon story. Future Trunks would thank everyone for the help of dealing with Zamasu, even though his universe was erased, as he would stay around for a while until Whis and Beerus returned. They would see Zamasu try to assassinate Gowasu, as they would step in, stopping him and erasing him to prevent him from doing what he did in the future timeline. They would return to Earth, and Beerus would express his disapproval with mortals messing with time and time traveling. Future Trunks would apologize and would say what happened and how they dealt with future Zamasu, even though it cost him his entire timeline. Whis would offer Future Trunks and Mai to bring them to a universe similar to theirs, but honestly Future Trunks would reject the offer, thinking that it would be best for him to stay in this timeline. With seeing how strong Gohan has gotten and with the lack of Vegeta around, he would like to honor his father by staying in this timeline to protect the Earth with the others, as he feels like he could be more of use here than going to a universe which isn't really his. With Future Trunks and Mai staying, they would stay at Capsule Corp, but Future Trunks wouldn't waste any time and would start training on Beerus' planet to learn Gaki in hopes that he can get as strong as Gohan, and even get the form he unlocked when facing Fuse Zamasu. Gohan and Videl continued training on Earth, but with Goten and Trunks, they would actually be allowed to go train on Beerus' planet, with Future Trunks and Goku. Some time would pass, as during a training session on Beerus' planet, both Beerus and Whis would be summoned by the Grand Priest, as they would all see the other gods of destruction and angels, as the announcement of the Tournament of Power is near, and that each universe would have 2 days to prepare to make their team of 10 to represent their universe in the upcoming tournament. And that's where we're going to leave it up for now. Tell me how y'all think about the third part and how I did with the continuation of this What If. With the Tournament of Power coming up next, what will the Universe 7 team look like in this timeline? Are there enough fighters to make a full team of 10? Will Goku still face off against Jiren in the tournament and achieve Ultra Instinct? What could have happened differently? Leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. If y'all are interested and enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever I post another part. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I would see y'all in the next part. See ya.